Sovereign ratings agency Moody's is expected to announce its credit rating decision on South Africa later today. Moody's is the only major ratings agency that did not downgrade the country's sovereign credit rating to junk status last year. Moody's maintained its sovereign rating at Baa3, one notch above junk status, whilst rivals Fitch and S&P downgraded the country to non-investment grade. At the last rating period, the company stated it would look at the 2018 budget as well as political developments when assessing the country. Virtually all market watchers had premised that the rating decisions on South Africa on its political risk. A downgrade would unleash an exodus of billions from the country. On Thursday, Deputy Finance Minister Moody informed the World Bank and the investor community that Treasury had recently conducted very frank and honest discussions with rating agencies. Well, joining us now to discuss this further is markets analyst Viv Govender, joins us on the phone line. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us here on ANN7. Just talk us through your expectations as we do anticipate Moody's to make that decision today.
The anticipation and the hope at the moment, I believe, is that we are going to see a change coming through. The belief is that the change in both the ANC and in government, the appointment of Ramaphosa, as well as the budget that came through, should be enough to postpone a rating downgrade for the moment. We have not yet seen enough of a change in economic growth and other factors to permanently, justify, for instance, the other agencies from, raising their ratings. But at the moment, I think it's likely that we have done enough to postpone the downgrade from Moody's.
What sort of factors are taken into consideration when a decision like this is usually made?
Well, I mean, it's a very basic idea. It's the same idea as when you go to the bank to ask for a loan. So if you go to the bank and ask for a loan, the banks will look at you and think, okay, what's a couple of factors that's going to affect whether or not they're going to give you that loan or not, borrow some money. Firstly, they're going to say is how much money are you earning? What's your GDP? What's your economic growth like? Then they're going to say, what's your patterns of spending? Are you spending way more than you're earning? Now, if you don't spend much more than you're earning, the banks will be much more likely to give you that money. However, if you are spending more than you're earning, then they're going to say, you're a bad risk. There's also your character. That's one of the reasons maybe we were under the pressure last year. If they look at you and they think, hey, this is not a reliable person, there's some issues with his character or something, they would say, okay, maybe not in terms of giving you that loan. The similar kind of factors, on a basic level, when it comes to what a bank would think when it wants to lend you money or some, the same kind of factors that Moody's considers. Of course, it's translated to an economy or country versus a person. So instead of income, it's probably going to be your GDP growth rates, your economic activity. Basically, you spend more than you earn, it's going to be a budget deficit. And then, of course, there's going to be other factors, including political stability, etc., when it comes to things like character.
Mm-hmm. And on the topic, as you've mentioned, of political stability, what sort of impact, if any, do you think the latest political developments in the country could possibly have on this decision by Moody's?
Well, it's pretty clear that it's been positive. And I'm not taking that from a subjective point of view. Objectively, the rand has increased in value quite substantially. The rand is a kind of a good barometer of the impression a country has out there. So when you see what happened in each political move that happened with the election of Ramaphosa as ANC president, his appointment to government, etc., that all caused the rand to strengthen. So the impact was always positive for the rand. So that was obviously something that was probably taken as positive by the ratings agencies as well.
All right. Mr. Govender, thank you very much for chatting to us this morning and just providing some clarity on what the future holds, depending on that Moody's decision. Sovereign rating agency Moody's is expected to announce its credit rating decision on South Africa later today. A number of factors being taken into consideration there. Markets analyst Mr. Viv Govender just explaining those to us and providing some clarity. But stay tuned to ANN7 for further details.